So hello everyone, welcome to Japan Business Time After Work Edition with
Rochelle Kopp
from Japan Intercultural Consulting. And we're back with another great topic about Japanese intercultural business stuff. And
Right.
this week we had a great question actually from Quint Rankid
Yes.
and Zoeblade,
Yes.
who was asking us, we're going to do a slight twist on the comments. This is a combination and an interpretation.
Right. Building off of your ideas.
That's right. There's one question about sort of what sort of faux pas can result in not getting, well, they said getting fired, but I would say there are definitely faux pas which could affect your assessment.
Right.
And there was a question as well about how is your performance assessed? How is your pay, your performance, your promotion? How is that assessed?
Right.
So how are you evaluated within a Japanese company? I think that's a really great topic.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Don't miss it. So Rochelle, so this is an interesting thing, isn't it? The HR and talent management; these concepts are just completely
Completely different.
a different planet.
Yes.
And things like value-based pay, or value-generated based pay, or performance-based pay, or whatever. People are completely lost with this sort of thing. So there's a question which sounds completely reasonable. Do salespeople get paid by commission? Do people get evaluated by the value that they produce?
Not so simple in Japan.
Definitely not so simple. So
Yes.
so what is the deal? We can talk about sales and expand from there, but how is it that people are normally assessed from a performance perspective within an HR, within a
With
Japanese company?
Well, I find that in general, there's a lot more emphasis on input than there is on output. So, for example, rather than the dollar amount of sales that you're generating, how many customers have you visited and how
Yes.
hard are you trying,
Yes.
right? And so things that are completely output based, like sales commission, tend to not be used in Japanese companies. And even the performance evaluation process is often quite different than we would see in a Western company. And there may be a performance evaluation form, but it may have a very strong emphasis on how hard did you try.
Yeah. In fact, when I first got to Japan, so I was working in a facade international company, but it was very domestic, and frankly wondering what the hell these foreigners are telling us to do. So we had an HR evaluation, form, the assessment form. And in my first year, I struggled with everything. I was trying to get up to speed. The only area in the entire form I had any confidence in my ability to get a good score was work-life balance.
It's just funny that was on the form. That's a little unusual.
It was a global HR form.
That's
the
why,
thing.
yeah.
So there I was sitting and getting this terrible Hansei feedback session from my very overbearing tough boss, and the only little speck of light in the tunnel that I can see is that we're coming to question 9, which is how is this person's work-life balance? We got to it, and the guy looked at it and he said to me, "I don't even understand what this means. I'm just going to give you a B, okay?"
Oh, great.
So yeah, it's funny. Even when they try to apply these kind of standard forms, and the concepts are so alien that
It doesn't even really work. Yeah, no, I've seen that happen, yes.
yeah. So if you want to stand out in a positive way, maybe that's a good question for people who are just joining Japanese companies and they want to get a good evaluation. Where should they be? One question is, where should they be sort of aiming for? Where do Japanese tend to take a shine? And 2, what are the sort of missteps, the faux pas that expats and foreigners run into when they try to do this?
Well, you definitely want to show that you're doing doryoku, that you're making effort. And so
Yes.
that you're trying hard on things, that you're being serious.
Yes.
You also want to avoid mistakes, so you want to be very careful, and you
Yes.
want to double check things. You don't want to show rough drafts to people. Things have to be in very good polished condition before you turn them in.
Yeah.
You also need to be a team player. You need to help other people, offer to help other people,
Yeah.
be aware of what's going on, and try and contribute to what the group is doing.
There is one thing which again I got tripped up on, and probably still do. I'm more self-aware of it now, but when senpais are wax on and wax offing their kohais, they're looking for things to spark as an opportunity to give feedback,
Right.
and that means they will zero in on those a little mistake that you might think is a superficial, a formatting error, a little spelling mistake.
From a Japanese perspective, that's going to be like the tip of the iceberg, and if that's wrong, what other things are wrong?
Well, that's the thing.
And then they're going to start going through everything else with a fine-tooth comb, and it trips the switch, right? That you don't want tripped.
And what it says, that's right. And what it says is that if before giving this to me, if they either didn't check this at all, or their check was so slapdash that they missed this obvious mistake, I have to assume that the entire product that you're getting
it has something wrong with it potentially.
Well,
yes.
has been treated with the same slapdash attitude.
Right.
So this is the thing. I have produced 50-page, 60, 70-page reports and had one spelling mistake found and had the document thrown back at me, go through the whole entire thing again and rewrite it and give it back to me tomorrow. I was sitting there like, okay, it was a spelling mistake. I'm sorry, but come on,
It's viewed
this
as
is
a
a good
symbolic
report.
thing, yeah.
But to them, it undermines your credibility.
It really does, yes.
And that's harsh, and especially now. I mean, I know some people are very sensitive about having their spelling or grammar mistakes pointed out to them, but seriously, when you come into Japanese companies, I mean, it's the little things are the big things.
Yes, they really are.
Yeah. So this is a great country to be a detail person.
Yes.
It's a really tough country to be a high level person.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got to be really detail oriented.
Yeah, and I think you've got to the other point that you said, which is really true. You have to give off an appearance as well, frankly, you have to kind of show that you're working hard. And this is, again, something I've always disliked. In terms of, New Zealand's got this it's got a stoic type of a culture to it, that you don't make a big noise about how hard you're working or how tired you are. But I've seen my co-workers do that. And the whole thing, I mean, again, people will sit at their desk just for the good appearances, they'll sit up there.
They'll stay later to make it look good. Yeah.
And in the morning,
I don't encourage that, but it does happen a lot in Japan because it's very effective. Unfortunately,
it is. I mean, these guys, and in the morning, I mean, I've probably given a few dirty looks, but I've seen the Japanese guy next to me, who's sitting there and going, "Oh, boss, it's so tough. I stayed till 2 o'clock last night. Now my stomach's all sore from all the stress, but I'm going to keep going." Oh, seriously, are you not even embarrassed saying that?
Right,
but it works. It works,
does work,
and it drives me crazy. So you don't have to be a complete, Latin American soccer player about it. But you can. I think being a little bit self-aware. If they can't see it, they'll assume it's not being done.
Yeah.
If you are working hard, and frankly, even if you're not working that hard, you should be not looking like you're not working hard.
Yeah.
And
if it looks like you're spending a lot of time during working hours chatting with people and things like that, that's not going to help, right?
It'll come back in feedback.
Yeah.
There's one trick. When I first joined, I had 90 dorky, and we started exchanging tips. And some of these guys were all sleep deprived, were all stressed out. One of my dorky was sort of saying, "I found a great way when you're tired and you need mental downtime, but you're in these open plan offices and everyone's watching you." He found a great way. If you really need to just zone out, there's a great way to do it. Just point at a part of the screen and look at it, and just hold that pose. You can almost doze off, but everyone will assume that you're very focused and working on the screen. And this rumor went around. All my Japanese donkeys started doing it. I tried it a couple of times myself, just to escape. I mean, it's silly, but appearances matter. Superficial things are taken as indications of your overall attitude, and the attitude that you present is taken again really seriously. That's what
attitude is a big deal. Yes.
So yes, things that can affect those are the things that can negatively affect and positively affect.
Right. And I find too. One thing I see as a lot of issue for non-Japanese is trying to disagree or debate with the wrong person, particularly a senior person in a meeting or other formal situation, and that is just that stops you dead in your tracks, really.
Yeah.
Is not knowing what's the appropriate time and place for making comments and things.
Yeah. Inappropriate use of keigo, by the way. There's a downside. There's a thing first where he said konnichiwa, that's great, and you'll get that panda period, but when that wears off, then all of a sudden the expectation there will be zero leeway after that. After you get past that,
you're expected to be like working at the same level as everyone else. The bar on that is pretty high.
Yeah, when I was at Tokyo Marine, which is a super conservative, elite sort of finance company, They're really tough on use of words on the phone and to the boss. And I had people come back and say to me, well, I can't believe you just talk like that. I was using teneigo.
Right.
I wasn't speaking roughly.
But it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. It
wasn't,
yeah.
Sasate Tadakimasu or something like that, yeah.
Yes. Well, it may be like, hi, yarimasu, or something even like a yarimasu is a little bit too rough for a way. I would say, I'll do it. I would say, hi, shiteokimasu, shiteokimasu, or something.
Renraku sasete itadakimasu, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you want to say the really good way.
Really, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's pay a lot of attention to
they really care, yeah.
I guess that's it. Small things are really big things in Japan.
Yes.
So be self-aware, and if you've got a weakness in that, you have to be really vigilant on yourself. Frankly,
it's true. Yes.
So yeah, it's not easy, but at the same time, if you can get those superficial things right at the same time, if you can back it up with that, it means that you'll get trust quickly, which we talked about with the communication thing.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, that's part of that process, isn't it? When they think I can't find when they stop finding things to pick you up on, then yeah, they'll start giving you more leeway. So yes. More topics.
Yes.
Come and join us again next week.
Exactly, yes.
And see you again soon.
Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.